Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to show you guys how to telepathically communicate with a non-living or an inanimate object. How to telepathically communicate and listen to what they say. Now, for some of you guys, that may seem like crazy talk. Okay, and don't worry, because later on I will be making telepathy video with me communicating with my dog, and maybe even one me communicating with my turtle and telling them to do things and telling you guys what they're saying and stuff like that. But for right now, I'm going to just teach you guys how to telepathically communicate with an object, because that's the easiest thing. That's the easiest way to That's the easiest way to communicate using your mind. So, just looking around the house, I'm going to find an object, and then I'm going to show you guys how I communicate with it. Alright, I got my object. Now, first thing, when you want to use telepathy, you want to find an object that kind of resembles a human. That helps a lot, but it doesn't have to, okay? You could communicate with this piece of plastic, but I find it easier just to communicate with something like a doll or a action figure or a robot or a mannequin at the freaking mall or anything. Ronald McDonald at McDonald's on the bench. Doesn't matter. Just find something that looks somewhat human to practice with, okay? And yeah, even if it's talking to George Washington on the back of a freaking quarter, doesn't matter. Just find a human to communicate with, okay? And I'm gonna use this guy right here. Something with eyes really helps. Okay, so I'm gonna teach you guys how you could practice telepathy, and then you could apply it in real life to real people or animals. All right. All right. So first things first, I'm gonna sit this guy up. All right. And I know this video is gonna be probably the weirdest video I've ever made, but bear with me here. All right. Okay, so first thing you want to do is take your item that you want to communicate, and you want to focus on its third eye right here. Okay, and if it's like a inanimate object like this, which I do not recommend to practice with. I practice with something with with eyes on it, or something that is human resembles, something with a head, pretty much. Okay, so. But if you are going to do some inanimate object, find like a logo on it, like this, and then just concentrate right there. Or if it's something that doesn't have a logo, just concentrate on the center of it. I don't have an example right now. Actually, I do. So, if you want to communicate with this, concentrate right on the center. But I highly, highly recommend using something that resembles an actual head of a human. So, alright. So what you want to do is you want to use using telepathy is usually done through the third eye or the pineal gland. It's also known as the what is dang, I just drew a blank. It's the eye chakra or some third eye chakra, but it's usually right dead in the middle of the brain. So what you want to do is you want to use your third eye, and please note that you do not have to open your third eye to do this. You just gotta use your third eye, and connect with someone else, because the other person most likely won't have their third eye open, and I myself don't have my third eye open. I opened it before, but then I did meditations to shut it because I didn't like how it affected me in weird ways, and I didn't like the hallucinations that I got from it. So, just pretty much just, if you're gonna telepathically communicate with a person, most likely their third eye is gonna be shut, but you're gonna concentrate on their third eye, okay? And what you want to do is build a little beam, a little bright blue beam, or like a clear whitish blue, some type of tunnel, like circular, like round, like this, around like a tube, like a hose. And it could be any color, but I prefer white or blue. Just have that tunnel go from their third eye to your third eye, to the middle of your, straight in the middle of your eyebrows, and have that tunnel be there, and just kind of try to feel it. Concentrate on your own first, and then try to direct your tunnel, your third eye tunnel, to theirs. Alright? It also helps to breathe slowly, and that will lower your heart rate, and your energies usually, your vibrations usually speed up when your heart rate lowers. So breathe slow, let your energy build up, and especially the energy around your eyes. Concentrate on it. Close your eyes and look up, and picture an eyeball in your head, and then picture it opening up and glowing very brightly, and then picture a beam just shooting out of it into the person's head. And if they're turned like this way and you want to communicate with them without them knowing, still aim it right in that center of their head. If they're from behind, center it right in their head. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be facing them, as long as your third eye is facing their head. Okay? So have that beam come from that imaginary beam. You don't have to feel it, but most of the time, like 90% of the time, you do feel like a pressure in your head. It resembles a sort of headache, but it doesn't hurt. It just kind of has pressure. So you're going to push that beam from your third eye straight into their thing. And once you feel that connection, you want to be very, very, very gentle with your suggestions, because right now your higher self is communicating with the person's higher self. So they consciously won't be aware of what you're saying, but their subconscious mind will. And if you want to tell them something specific, you're going to talk through their subconscious, and then their subconscious will either take that information or discard of it. So if it's something like dangerous, like you tell them to go kill yourself, their subconscious will just throw that away in the garbage bin, or whatever they use, whatever it uses. Okay, so this is kind of a rough topic to go over, guys, but I hope you're following. It's kind of hard for me to explain too, because I never really explain telepathy, I just do it. So I hope this method does help you guys. So you're going to connect that beam right from your third eye to their third eye. Alright? And this is what you're going to do. You're going to talk to the subconscious mind. The first thing I do whenever I want to communicate with someone, send them a message, try to use pictures rather than words. So right now I'm sending messages into his brain. And what you want to do is you want to ask it permission. The first thing you want to do is ask its higher self permission. Ask it, say something like this. Say, may I have permission to connect with your higher self? Say that to someone. In your mind, though, of course. So if someone's sitting across the room, you're going to mentally connect that beam, and then you're going to ask permission to communicate with their higher self. So right now I'm connected to him, and I'm going to ask him his higher self permission to connect with his higher self. Some of you guys may think, oh, it's an animate object, it doesn't have a brain, it doesn't have No, I don't got a brain. But yes, he sure as hell does have a brain. It's just not the brain that we have. It's an energy. Every object, everything has energy. And it's most likely not going to be able to respond back to me in words, but in feelings. It will respond back in feelings. Okay, so once you do that, I'm sorry, I'm going off on a rangent. But once you ask permission and you feel, you'll know. They'll say, okay, yes, you're their higher self, or you'll have like that feeling of them saying, yes, you have permission. Then you want to send a message and try something short, like tell them to scratch their left shoulder or something like that, just so for yourself, just so you know if it's working or not. That's just how I usually start off, just have them do something. So they'll either scratch their shoulder or do something with it, probably brush it off, or like flick, like itch it with their ear or something. But once you know that they actually had felt that, that means their subconscious is, their conscious mind is allowing your subconscious to take over. So once you know that their subconscious is allowing you to send them messages, make sure they're always positive. Do not send them an impositive message, because they'll just bounce away and just go into oblivion. They'll go nowhere. They'll just throw it away. So, okay. So once you have that, once you send them a message, and it could be simple words or simple pictures. If you want them to do something, usually I imagine them doing it rather than telling them to do it. But you could use both. But I recommend using pictures or visuals. So, for example, you want someone to hold the elevator for you after the door already closed. Then you're gonna, while they're walking, this is actually something I did to practice. I'll tell you about it. So, this guy was walking in front of me, okay, and then I was like, oh, I bet he's just gonna go in the elevator and not hold the door for me. So then I really quickly connected with him telepathically, and I told him to open the door, because he already shut the door, and he opened the door. And I knew that he was, at first I didn't think, I thought it was just coincidence he opened the door. But the weirdest thing, the thing that like really made me know that it was working, was the next thing I did. I told his subconscious to push level 5, and I didn't really have to go to level 5. I just wanted to test if I could if that was a coincidence or not that he opened the door for me. But weirdly enough, he pressed level 5, and then he pressed level 2 where he was going, and I didn't ask him, I didn't speak to him or anything, and he was kind of like, I looked at his face and he was kind of like puzzled why he pressed number 5. But then I just let it happen, and I was like, I actually said thank you. And then he had like this weird look on his face, like he didn't remember me asking him to do it. So that was probably the funniest experience I had with telepathy. But pretty much get the subconscious to give you permission to speak to it. And if it's someone far away that you don't have visual, like if it's like a friend that's in a different state, you could do the same method, except it's a little bit harder. You had to picture their face, what they look like, and then picture their third eye, and you can still make that beam. And you don't have to be looking at them. Just picture that energy going from your third eye to their third eye, and use the same method where you ask ask permission, send a message, either a visual message or a worded message, but it doesn't matter. So, but it does work. So if someone is across like another states, you could send them a message to give you a phone call or a text, like if it's one of your friends, and 90% of the time, if you did it right, they should send a text, and they'll be like, hey, what's up? Or, yeah, something like that. But if you want someone you admire, or like you have a crush on, or some person that you like or whatever, you could also tell them to to, like, I don't know, you just tell them to, like, say hi to you, like, say hi to you the next day or something, or you can even ask them to ask you for their number, and they'll most likely come up to you out of nowhere and ask you for their number, for your number. And this worked. I actually tried that and it worked. So yeah, so it doesn't have to be face to face, but I recommend starting with an inanimate object. I didn't really get, it's been a long video, so I didn't really get to communicate with this guy. But if I have, actually I will try to do it real quick, okay? I'm going to communicate with him and just tell him a simple thing. I'm going to tell you guys what he's thinking right now. Alright. I'm sorry about the video being so long. I didn't plan for it to be this long, but... So I'm connecting with him. Now I'm going to ask him. Do you like... I'm going to ask him, do you like what he's wearing? I'm going to ask him if he likes the outfit that he's wearing. Alright, I didn't really get a response as a yes or a no, but I did get a picture of a red shirt. A red shirt. And right now he's not wearing any red. So what I take from that is maybe he would prefer wearing red. I don't know. That's just a quick little example of communicate with a non-animate object. And if you're connecting with like a water bottle, ask it if it'd rather have milk in it instead of water. And it's just stuff like that. Just some random stuff. Just practice like that until you feel comfortable with the idea, and then you could practice with a human being. First start off with someone you could actually see, and then move on to someone that you don't see, like someone in another state or a different area. So hope this helped a little bit in telepathy. It's kind of an introduction. I'll go make more videos on it and maybe communicate with my dog or someone else. Hope you guys have a great day and this helped you guys. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions on this. I'll try to comment back. So have a good day.